every relationship, every love has to have work. You can't be in love with somebody for a long time and stay in love without working at it. I really don't think it's possible. Welcome to Just Another Group Chat. We have the lovely Rachel with us today.
Hello.
We also have the fabulous Kerr. Hello. Known as Kerr or Kirsty. I've never called you Kirsty.
Sometimes.
In the 35 years of...
Oh, all right. Just drop me age, why don't you? Cheers.
Anyway. 25 years. I'm proud of my age.
Okay, wonderful.
Made it.
Moving on.
Anyway, talking about love today. Rachel's like, all right. We're going to talk about love in all like different ways, shapes or forms, but we're going to talk about romantic love more than anything.
All right.
Because otherwise it could be a very, very long episode.
Yeah.
So we thought about, again, it's a fly on the wall podcast and this is what we talk about. And sometimes we talk about love in here.
Yeah.
So first things first, have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Me too.
Be a bit awkward if we said no.
I know. Imagine. Yeah. So can you describe what love feels like?
Oh, for me, at different stages of your life, it feels different.
Yeah.
There's like...
So my next question was, is your first love different?
I think they're all different.
Rachel,
What would you class as your first love though? Because surely that's like your parents, your siblings.
no, talking romantically, sorry.
Romantic love. Nah, I don't believe in a first love. I think you have a different love depending on who you're with.
So the first time you ever fall in love romantically, that is the first love. Like the first time you ever fall in love, like properly fall in love with somebody.
What does it feel like?
Yeah.
Oh,
How long were you with that person?
a year.
How long were you with your person?
Oh, about 4 months, but it was
Magical.
magical.
So I was with my first love for about 5 years. And I honestly, genuinely, 110% believe would be together forever.
Yeah.
It was, for me, that first love was different because, and the reason why I think it's different is because it's a bit of a naivety.
Yeah. Again, I think it's age and maturity, and it depends on because if you'd had that first relationship and it had lasted 5 years when you were 25, I think it would have been very different to when you would have been.
Because you want different things
15.
from the person.
You do, but for me, it's more about when you have your first love, you've never been heartbroken, you've never gone through heartache.
Your first heartbreak.
That's
something.
That is something. And I think that changes people. I think heartbreak, your first ever heartbreak changes people.
Oh
yeah, massively. But I think again, heartbreaks like love. You can have your heart broken more than once, and it feel very different.
Oh yeah.
It feels
Yeah. Every time I've ever been heartbroken, it feels slightly different.
It's not like the same love. It's not the same heartbreak. It's different, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, describe love then.
Oh God.
Do you want to take the wheel, Kerr?
Yeah. I mean, we're obviously not talking about puppies, or dogs.
Well, no, but we're talking about intimate love. Obviously, there's different types of love.
It's hard.
People,
It's hard. It depends. For me, like I had my childhood sweetheart, if you like, which I probably didn't really appreciate at the time because, like you said, I'd never had my heart broken, and then pined over him for a while, and then thought I'd really fallen in love with someone, together for 2 years, and in my head I was like, this is the perfect relationship ever. And then
but some people, that's interesting because some people do fall in love with two people.
yeah, I find that hard. I couldn't have allowed myself to fall in love with anybody else without almost realizing I was no longer in love with the other
What
person.
about, I think that only happens when you don't realize you're falling for somebody. And I think
you always realise, don't
think
you?
you
That's
do,
a bit
but-
stupid.
No, it's not stupid. There's people out there who have been in love with two people.
Well, no, but I mean, it's stupid to say that you don't know.
You don't realise you're falling for them.
That's just like...
I think you must
No,
know,
but
there must be some element
There
of
must
denial.
be something, but I think there is probably some slight, I don't know because it's never happened to me, but I think some people who do maybe fall in love with two people, or it's an interesting concept, isn't it? Because love is about commitment and it's about
giving yourself entirely to one person. So the fact that you can, or there are people out there who have been in love with two people or however many people, some people.
It's because you get a different kind of, you've got different expectations and it's a different type of love. So you want either safety or security or dangerous or
Excitement
something or excitement.
something.
And sometimes it's difficult to get both of those elements from one person, I guess. So I think that's why you fall in love with different elements of what that relationship could potentially give you.
So apparently there's 3 different styles of, I don't know if there's 3, there might be more than 3 different styles of love.
Okay.
Eros.
What?
Is one of them.
Isn't that like a Greek
that a Greek
food?
word?
It's a Greek word.
You're thinking of like a Eros,
Yeah.
the rap.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Anyway, it's a style of love that refers to the erotic love. Basically, it focuses on physical attraction, engaging in sex, quick development, strong feelings, intimacy, passion, all of those things. There's ludus, which is, I think, another Greek word, but it's a style that involves being emotionally distant and involves a bit of game playing. So basically, they're unlikely to commit. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. I just think this is funny.
They feel comfortable ending relationships, often start new ones. So basically, they don't tend to commit. They like that
My
first. What?
Sorry.
What did you say?
I don't know.
My ex.
Oh, your ex. All right, yeah.
You're literally describing it.
They don't tend to commit, but it's their version of love. Like they like that first kind of stage as such, and they just want to repeat that by game playing.
The honeymoon phase.
But then they'll
again.
commit a bit, and then they'll pull away, and then they'll commit
And,
again,
like,
and then they'll pull
move
away.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storge, I think this is pronounced, is regarded as a more mature form of love, and priority is given to having a relationship with the person who has similar interests, like the way they express each other, physical attraction, they're trusting of each other, they're not needy or dependent. There's different types. It's interesting, that you can.
So who made those types up?
I don't know. I just found it on a website.
So do you have to fall into one of those 3 categories?
No, you can be a mixture as well.
Oh, right, okay.
There was quite a bit of literature on saying that you can be a mixture of styles, but some people just clearly fall into that style of love.
What about the style of love where you just like fall so madly in love that you do anything for them? And that's a hard love to fall into, isn't it? Where you just like literally they could say, let's go and rob a bank, and you'd go, okay.
Is that like more of a personality type thing as well? I don't know. It might be a style of love.
I think it's a style of love.
It might be.
I think it's known as head over heels.
Yeah.
If there's any Greeks out there with any more Greek words,
Why
styles of love?
Why are the Greeks experts?
Well, the Greek, I don't know.
A lot of them, all them words are Greek, aren't they? They're derived from
Maybe the
Greece.
Greeks are experts.
Maybe they are. Do you have a love language?
So yeah, I've got different love languages with I've got a very specific style of love language with my children and a very specific style of love language with my partner.
So we're talking partners. Rachel, do you know what love languages are?
Yes, I do. And I tried to find out because someone actually asked me and they were like, what's your love language? And I was like, what's that? So I did a bit of research and I tried to find out. But I don't know whether I'm just too indecisive as a person. But when I did the little multiple choice thing, I was like, well, it just depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
So I think it's very dependent on kind of external factors, what my love language would be that day.
So I'm
probably
a bit the same.
difficult.
So I did the quiz yesterday. So love languages, basically, there's 5 different love languages. If you don't know what this is, there's a book wrote about love languages, and it basically talks about how you like to love somebody or how you like to be loved. So it's normally your style that makes you feel loved or makes you love other people, and how you do that and how you show that. And there's 5 different ones. Physical touch, which is all about like holding hands, arm touches, stroking of the face.
Stroking of the face. Wow, we can't.
You know, those kind of things. Putting your arm around the shoulder, PDA, all that kind of stuff. The next one is words of affirmation, which is all about like you're speaking your love and you're saying, I love you, I appreciate you. You give kind, encouraging, positive words. You say nice things about them. You kind of give compliments.
I'm picturing an Italian man in my head.
Oh, nice. Quality time is the next one, which is all about undivided attention, essentially, putting your phone away, putting things completely aside so that you're entirely engrossed in that person and giving them full attention. So like if you're out for a meal, you're not on your phone. If you are, I don't know, not texting while they're speaking to you, you're looking at them when they're talking to you, all those kind of things. Next one is acts of service. So that could be like cleaning up, doing the vacuuming.
I thought you meant something very different for a split second.
It's like stuff that's going to help you relax and chill. And then things like being lazy or saying, oh, I'll do that later, is going to obviously frustrate the other person and make them not feel loved. And the last one is receiving gifts. So that's more about like efforts and thought into gifts or cards or, you know, stuff like that. And we're all like, I think a lot of us are like, oh, I'm not bothered about that. But this includes like birthdays and Christmas and a missed anniversary and whether that would bother you or not. These kind of things that, you know, how would that affect you? So it's just interesting. I think I was mainly physical touch, but then the others are all between 20. They're all split quite evenly.
Yeah.
So I think I was like you, Rach, in terms of I know that I'm probably most physical touch.
Yeah.
But then words of affirmation and quality time were high on my list as well.
I think it just depends. Like if I'm feeling really confident and really good in myself, then the words of affirmation I don't need from someone else because I can
get it for yourself.
Yeah, like I'm perfectly fine. But if I'm feeling a bit low or something bad's happened or I'm just a bit down, then those really could change my mood and they could really pick us up. So it literally just depends on, like I say, external factors. I think mostly probably physical touch because I think that's just, it's like a nice way of being like, I'm still here. Like it's comforting. They don't have to say anything. They just say, I'm here. And I
What about PDA?
Why did you look at me?
I know.
Oh God.
Public displays of affection. Because you're PDA-ish.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm like, I don't.
No, but it's not about not caring. Is it something that you need? Is it something that makes you feel good?
I mean, when I first met my partner, I was just like so smitten. I just thought, well, I don't really care who's about. Like, let's drive it on the dance floor. It's fine. And everyone was always like, PDA is too much. And I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I think that was just part of my love journey with him. Like, it was just part of it. And we've kept a bit of that. Like, I don't hold back, and I wouldn't like not give him, if I wanted to give him a kiss, I would give him a kiss.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hold back if there's people about, but that's because I put my relationship first.
Yeah.
Do you have stages of falling in love? Like how you fall in love as a person?
Yes.
Rich, you?
Probably.
What do you think it goes
not
like?
I could list it straight away.
Go on then.
I think it would be excitement, fun, fear, run away, and then acceptance.
You selling it, Kat?
Acceptance, and then a long period of trying to like settle in a way of like
Come down off a high.
Yeah.
Settle of like, all right, okay, no, this is real, this is where you're at, and kind of believing
that-
in it.
yeah.
Belief. What's yours?
Belief. Similar to Kerr, but then it's when you get to that, not settling stage, because that makes it sound quite negative, but it's when you almost start to, you
Feel
have
safe.
to learn, you're safe for one, but you have to actively work at prioritising each other and actively still kind of date each other and work at that relationship like it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I don't, like that kind of, is plateau the right word? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of element of it is really, that's when it's either gonna make or break you.
Yeah.
So love changes over time,
Yeah.
scientifically proven to change over time. And there's quite a few things, there's loads of research done around this. Romantic love typically declines over the course of a relationship. And there's various reasons. Basically, they say, the studies to say that partners, when you learn more about each other, you become more confident in long-term relationship, routines develop, habits develop. Like the opportunities to experience new things decline because you've done quite a few things. So the more you do, like the less new things you can do together. Sexual activity changes as you become more used to each other and what you kind of, it's not new anymore.
But it's funny that because
It's the passion. It says that it's the passion of the love that subsides.
Right.
But passion is part of that first element when you first fall in love with somebody. So it's that passionate side of things that can decline, but doesn't mean you don't still love the person. It's just that you have to potentially, if you want passion in your relationship, work on that element.
yeah, because you don't think, oh, I'm going to break up with my friends because I've done everything with them. Like, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. You still want to be friends with them, you still want to be, and you still love them, but it's the passion side of, isn't it? It's that. But I think every relationship, I think every love has to have work. I think you can't be in love with somebody for a long time and stay in love without working at it. I really don't think it's possible.
It's because you appreciate each other's company. The same with friends. Just because you've done something before doesn't mean you wouldn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Because you enjoy their company and you enjoy what you do with them. So it's not, I know what you're saying about the newness and that kind of fire and the spark, but if you enjoy someone's company enough, that's still...
Well, people say the grass is greenest where it's watered, don't they? Like, it's like you have to water the grass.
Yeah, I almost feel like I enjoy some of the things more now that we do as a couple than I would have done when we first met, because we know each other so well that actually we can, you appreciate things differently, don't you?
You do, and there's almost a little bit less pressure on you to be anything other than yourself.
Yeah. Do you think that when you first meet someone and you're falling in love, you're trying to impress them or trying to...
Yeah.
I'm just trying to not fall in love. I don't know why, it's proper messed up, isn't it?
Yes.
You've got a major fear.
Like
Major fear of falling in love.
Yeah, every time I fall in love, I've just tried to, after my first heartbreak, I've just tried to not fall.
Ever feel like that ever again?
Love.
You're just protecting yourself.
Yeah, I think it must be that. But I mean, once the acceptance sets in, it's like the stages. I'm going to write a book. Yeah.
So falling out of love, it can happen over time. It can happen instantly. You can. So talk me about that. Have you ever fallen out of love with somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that go? Like what?
I think you grow. I think nobody's the same person they were 10 years ago. Nobody is. And it's like a journey. It's a path. And if you both stay on the same path and you want to stay on the same path and you both grow, then you have to work to say, one person might say, oh, well, I want to go this way. And you might have to say, well, no, actually, we're going to stay on this road for a little bit. And you have to compromise. And if you do that throughout the relationship, I think you can stay on the same path and you can still find the love within each other because you've done it together and you've compromised with each other. But I think when you fall out of love with somebody, it's because those paths start to take such drastic desires that they do go the other way.
People change.
Yeah, I think people change and they don't grow together.
Yeah, either grow together or you grow apart. And I feel like if you're meant to grow apart, then the passion that's took them elsewhere is obviously not what was meant for you anyway. Yeah. So that's
what about you, Rach, then falling out of love?
I think it just, like you say, we grew apart and it was just like we weren't in a good enough place. Yeah, and it wasn't through anyone's fault. We were just different people. And
do you think realising or accepting that you're unhappy is easy or hard?
Hard.
Oh, hard.
Because from my point of view, I know people that are unhappy, but they don't realise it.
What?
Like, I know people in relationships that seem like they're very unhappy, but they don't realise they're unhappy.
How did you know that we're unhappy then? If they don't know they're unhappy?
I don't. What I mean is, I think some people don't realise it till they're out of it.
Yeah, no,
I've been around friends and stuff who I'm like, oh my God, can she really be happy in this relationship? And then they get out of it and they're like, God, was I ever really happy in that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's hard to recognise is what I'm saying. I think it's also...
blinded by love. Is that what you mean?
No, I think complacency can set in for some people to the point where they don't realise they're actually not that happy.
Yeah.
I think it's easier. It's not easier. I think you see it in friends because friends are more likely, like close friends, you're more likely to complain about the bad things. So they don't really see
Yeah.
the good things. And if you're not actively around that person with their partner and all you hear is bad things, I think it's easy to be like, oh, they're not happy.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you confide in your close friends, don't you? Like if you've had any upset or any argument. So I think the bad things tend to add up, and that forms an opinion of the person they're with in the relationship that might not be true.
So do you think it's possible to, like, do you think love is in our control, I guess, more than anything? Do you think it's something that we can control and say, all right, say you're at that cusp where you're not sure whether you're going to break up with somebody or what have you, and you're thinking, do I can work at this, like you're saying, oh, if we work at this, we can fall back in love? Or do you think that for some people it's just gone and it's out of your control?
I think there's a stage before they're gone out of control. I think there is an element of control, and there is an element where you've got the decision.
You have to catch it.
You have to catch it. You have to be like, am I prepared to work at this? Are they prepared to work at it?
Yeah.
And you have to be, like her says, still on the same path.
But
there will be a point
go
where
too far.
you're done. And
Because I know you can fall out of love with somebody, and then I know people who have broken up, fallen out of love, and then fallen back in love. But in my mind, I'm like, did you ever really fall out of love? If you've fallen back in love, do you know what I mean?
But is that not a different type of love? Have they migrated into a different type of love and then bounce back, rather than just I don't love you anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you still always love the people
Has anyone
that
ever
you've
said
been
that
with.
to you? I don't love you anymore.
Not in words,
Yeah.
but
In actions and other bits and bobs.
In a moment, you know.
You can feel it.
It's horrible.
It's more of a
You
feeling.
need somebody to say it, so though, don't you? Sometimes. And
Oh yeah.
have you ever said, do you still love us, to somebody?
Oh, yeah, I've begged, please
Just tell us. Just tell us whether you don't love us anymore.
Tell us now.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think some people are addicted to love?
Yes.
Yes.
Explain.
Actually,
I
don't think they're addicted to love. I think they're addicted to the it's like a codependence thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I
They're
think you're
addicted
right.
to having a partner and having someone there.
Yes.
So for me, they're addicted to the dopamine hit that you get when you first meet someone.
God, she's bringing science into it.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
That dopamine hit, that kind of like amazing feeling that you get of like
that rush.
That
Yeah.
might be a different type of addiction. I feel like the addiction is there's that, but there's also the fear of being alone.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think the fear of being alone is what actually you are, rather than
What drives it rather than the
Yeah.
dopamine hit.
yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong.
So interesting. Do you guys know, this is my experience only, I'm not torturing guys here, but my experience only, from people who I know, I don't really know any guy that has recognised they're unhappy, spoke to their partner and said, I'm unhappy and I want to leave.
Yeah, I don't think men leave.
I don't think, so
I don't
that
think
that
men
has made me
leave.
think, I don't think men leave. I don't think they leave.
I don't think men leave until there's somebody else.
Yeah, I don't either.
Sounds awful, but
I really,
just
really don't. I really don't. And that is maybe my experience only. And if there's anybody out there who has gone, yeah, no, I left and I said I wasn't happy.
I don't.
Please
Without
get in touch.
without the other person saying, I'm talking about a heterosexual couple here, without the other person saying, are you unhappy? Are you this? Like, they don't bring that question to the table. They don't come to the table and say, I think I am unhappy. I don't think that happens.
I don't think they do it in such a way, but I think they potentially cause the situation by their actions. So it might be
actions speak
instigating
for
an
it.
argument. It might be this that causes.
So why don't you just speak? Why don't you just talk? Say it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
ask
that.
me.
I don't think a man would. I don't think, well, any man that I've known would actively make the decision to say, okay, I'm going to choose to be on my own right
Yes.
now over being in this relationship
Yes.
that might make me unhappy.
Yes.
Yeah, that I'm going to have to
Yes.
put effort in and
That
work.
I'm going to
at.
have, because
Yes.
actually breaking up with someone is hard work.
Yeah,
And
it is
who's going to
hard.
want to break up with someone?
I don't know anybody.
to stay in that situation. They're going to have to. But there's women that do this as well.
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't.
There
move.
is.
They
You're
don't
right.
move out of one relationship until there's another one lined up.
But that's true. But I might be wrong here, but they do not bring it to the table. Women notice something's wrong, they bring it up. But normally it's been weeks or even months until they've actually gone, something's not right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, men do not bring it to the table. They will act maybe or think, they might be thinking, this is not right for me, and they might act different, but they don't
Bring it.
They don't
actively
do
bring
that.
it to the table.
Sit down and look,
They don't say, like, we need to talk. What's happening? What's going on between me and you? then they might go, I'm just not happy. But they have to be asked. They don't bring it to the table. I would like to meet a man. I would like to meet a man that's ever brought this to the table.
Yeah, no,
Please
I agree
Put the
with you.
search party out there, because I do not think it exists. I think in some way, shape or form, in
Q&A.
heterosexual...
Yeah, please.
I don't mind
At the
that.
door.
Fine by me.
Being like, I brought it to the
If
table.
you tell me there's communicative men going to line up outside, God, I'll be out with the moon.
You heard it here first, boys.
Exclusive.
Get lining up.
Free products for all. I'm not joking. I genuinely would like to hear from someone, if it's out there, spread the word, that where a guy...
the word. We're all looking for that one person.
A guy has actually brought this conversation to the table. Doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean,
Challenge it.
okay.
We tried.
Do you think that's because the man falls out of love while he's in the relationship?
I don't know. I don't want to generalize too much. All I know is that in my experience and what I have seen over the young 35 years that I've had, that doesn't happen.
Okay.
I genuinely don't know a single person, and every single time I know that some way, shape or form, in heterosexual couples, the female is there going, can we talk? Something's not right, blah, 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 blah.
Do you not think, though, if someone's badgering you, going, what's wrong, if something doesn't feel right, rather than work at it, they're just like, I'm out.
Oh,
They
that
just
happens
escape,
too,
they
yeah.
just run.
Done.
They're like, I can't be tuned with this, like. Do you know, because if you're going to
effort.
keep
Potentially.
badgering them to like confront their emotions and act like differently and actually make effort in relationship, they're like, nah, I'm out of here.
I'm done.
Rather than them actually like being unhappy, or I think they're just like,
Just
oh,
bugger off
it's
and go,
easier.
it's too much hassle.
But I think those
It
people
depends
will
if
be
you've got a
unhappy.
house and kids and that, doesn't it? Because that's,
Oh, yeah,
that's a lot
that's
of
true.
hassle, isn't it?
That's
It's more hassle to leave.
Maybe if you're not in kind of financially tied and have like a child and stuff like that.
Biologically and financially.
Biologically and financially tied. But I think they're just like, oh, I'll just be away, me.
Do you think we are like penguins? Do you think we should have one love for the rest of our lives?
No.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, why? That's sad.
I don't think you could place that expectation on you or your partner.
No, neither do I.
No, but would you not like at least think like that was
No.
No.
What? Why?
Because
Don't want that expectation on
yeah,
myself.
exactly. Yeah.
But do you not think like, oh, me and my lobster, we're lobsters.
No, it's a fictional, stupid concept that actually doesn't counter in the fact that people change over time and grow.
Yeah, but
and
then
learn
you
things about
permanently
themselves.
got in your head that, oh, well, this relationship might end one day. So, how much effort am I really going to put into it?
No,
No,
you
you
put
do
all
the
of your
opposite.
effort into it to keep it going.
Exactly.
And then if, like, I think it's unfair
People
to expect that
change.
of your partner as well, that
Yeah.
they might not change further down the
Yeah.
line.
Oh, no, yeah.
I think that's
people
really
should-
unfair to be like, you have to be
like-
with me forever.
Yeah, I like to tie them in. I think it's very... What's the opposite of freedom? It's unfreedomy. Yeah.
Unfair to me. No, but there is, do you not think there's
Yeah,
a bit of
I think-
romance to that?
No, I don't. I think it's very Disney-esque. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we were brought up to believe. And I don't think it's actually true or right. And I don't think it's romantic at all.
It's all right, Kay. You'll still get your fairy tale, your Disney castle.
Yeah. I do.
No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But I think it makes work. But I like to think that two people can be together forever and still be happy at the end of it.
Yeah, I don't see life like that anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not because I think it's nothing to be sorry about. I think there's an unrealistic expectation set of what romance or true relationships or true love is. And I don't think it's nice to think that you can share your life with one person forever, but I also don't think that expectation should be put on anybody. I think everybody should be individually happy and live their individual happy lives. And together you either make a team, and at some point you might not make a team anymore because your individual lives don't connect. And I think you have to be able to support each other and like work through the difficulties. If someone gets a job 6 months away, you're working through that. If, there's a lot of things that you can work towards and work at. But I also know that things happen in life. People go through trauma and grief and all sorts of different things that can change them as a person. And once you're changed, you shouldn't
be expecting your happiness to live in somebody else.
No, you shouldn't. But it's like there's lots of things out there that you know aren't real, but you believe in them.
Like Santa Claus.
I was thinking of Santa Claus.
Tooth fairy in that.
I was thinking of the tooth fairy as well.
I think
Santa Claus, there's a bit of like
Fake magic there.
No, it's like a bit of like, oh, isn't it nice to believe in that? Like, it's not real, but like,
I think it's important that you both understand you have that freedom in a relationship,
Yeah, I
though,
do.
because otherwise you're just gonna
You feel trapped.
grow to resent each other because you're trapped. That's the word.
Trapped.
Not unfreedomy. Trapped.
I like unfreedomy.
Me too.
I'm going to stick with that from now on. Honey, do you feel unfreedomy at the moment?
Tell me straight. Do you feel unfreedomy?
No, I do. I genuinely think that people can, and there's a lot of people that do feel trapped in their relationship, and it's
Yeah.
because there's too much. Like
It's
there's
a
a
societal expectation to be.
you should never make your home in somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh,
should-
God, no.
You should make your home in you as the person that you are, and then you share that with somebody else. But I think
wholeheartedly
by
agree.
saying, "Oh, we're going to be together forever and ever and ever," like that to me is difficult, because what you're saying in that is we are making a home together in each other rather than a home in yourself. And
Why are
looking
you
at
saying that? Why can't you be making a home in yourself and just enjoy it with the other person forever and ever and ever?
Because your expectation is that that person will always want to be with you.
Yeah.
Feels like semi-detached has got a partner in their own homes, but attached.
Yeah.
It's not realistic to understand that that person, will always and forever be happy with you. What if you get a new? What if you want to move to United States and all of a sudden they don't, and they don't want to do that, and that's not going to make them happy?
Sorry. Okay.
We're going to the States on Friday. I'm not saying I'm moving. I'm not moving there.
Which one are we leaving?
I'm not moving there. Well, I might not
Who's
come
not
back,
coming back?
actually. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd at least come back Friday.
I thought you were talking about the fact that my ex moved to the United
Oh,
States.
yes, of course. So he did. Yeah,
like, God,
yeah.
all
Oh
right.
yeah, Kurt's not coming back.
I don't know. I just think it's not realistic. And I do think it's important that people go into, if people want to get married, you make a commitment to.
Yeah, so what's the difference to getting married? Like, you don't stand up on the altar and go, I will marry you and I will be with you and wed you forever unless we both change. Like,
No, to
You've
me,
got to
a
have
wedding
that-
is about vows and promises that you together want to make in front of other people. And to me, that
but on your
is-
wedding day, you do have that moment of, we're going to be together forever. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
Some people just want a wedding. They do.
Okay.
Some people just want to make that commitment. I don't mean that as in they want a party. I mean, they want to make a commitment. They want to be married. They want a ring on their finger.
I like to think that there's a little bit of romance still left in penguins and lobsters.
I'm sure there's people out there that also agree with you. So that's why we have different chats on the different people on the podcast. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I think that people get married because they kind of want that, we'll be together forever. But I feel like actually thinking it and like saying it out loud and kind of putting that, I don't know, I think it's unfair and it's trapping, and it's almost doesn't give people the freedom to change if that's how they want to be. And I think obviously when you get married and stuff, you expect to be together for as long as you can and to keep all the promises that you make. But sometimes life comes at you fast and you can't keep those promises, and then to kind of put that onto someone else, it's unfair to trap them in it as well.
But I think everyone can agree that having a child is more commitment, much more of a commitment than a wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think when you have kids with somebody, like that is to an element why it's so important is because to an element you will, no matter what happens really, unless it's unaccentual circumstances, have that person in your life.
Yeah.
For a very, very, very long time. So that is the commitment that you have. So you will, it's in some way, shape or form, be tied to that person. It doesn't mean you're trapped. It just means that you're tied to that person. You've got a third or fourth or however many kids you've got person to think about while you are making those decisions around whether you are in a relationship or not.
I think having kids, like you say, is more of a commitment because I think you go through more tests when there's a third or fourth person involved in that kind of unit. You've got more responsibility. You've got more responsibility to each other and to the child, and I think you go through more tests of life as such with after having a child than you would just you two or getting married or whatever. So I think by the time you've kind of got through those tests and being like, well, we can conquer anything together because we've raised a flipping child.
Yeah.
Like that's more of a commitment than
It's all a different adventure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think about it. We know we've chatted a little bit about falling out of love. We've chatted about falling in love, staying in love. And I just want to just quickly touch on this. What do you do? Rachel, you're in a relationship. How do you stay in love?
I think actually a flame's probably a good one. I think sometimes it burns smaller and sometimes it burns brighter. And I think that's normal depending on kind of your energies of the day, the week, the what's going on. But I think like I said earlier, you have to actively work at it. You have to.
Do you still get like butterflies and stuff and like
I think for me, it's not about like if say I got flowers once in a blue moon, that still gets us excited. If I got them every week, it would be like, oh,
yeah,
it's just. But whereas my mum gets flowers every week and she loves that.
Does she?
So it's
your love language.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But it's just about making time for each other and prioritizing each other and making sure that you're still putting each other first and you're still communicating about even when you're not happy, but also when you are. I think it's nice to say when you are happy and to express what makes you feel happy and what makes you feel safe and to actively work at being in those very early stages of your relationship.
Yeah.
Like still however many years
We've
later.
done a podcast on how you work on your relationship and stuff, and there's like a little chart and things you can fill out if anybody wants to listen to that. Feel free.
I give you
the relationship wheel?
Can I give you my thoughts on what I'm visualising?
Really?
It's good. It's good. This one might make more sense.
Please go on then.
Okay, you can cut it out if it's awful. So I visualise staying in love in a sense of like a plate. So,
Oh my God.
no, stay with me. So when
Your mind.
when you see it, when you first find a plate, right, and you think that's the plate for me or whatever, then, and it's a beautiful plate, then when your relationship goes on a little bit and then something might happen, and because we're human, so we upset each other sometimes, then there's a tiny little crack that comes into that plate. And for me, staying in love or re-falling back in love, it's like the Japanese, like you've got to fill that plate in with a little bit of gold. So that's the working at it bit. And then actually eventually your relationship is still a beautiful plate, but it's got lots of cracks in
But
and
they're
they're
all
filled
filled in
in
with
with
gold.
gold.
I like that.
Thanks.
Why are you plating, not a vase?
Well, a vase then, whatever.
Oh, you're picky, aren't you?
But in my head, like some people think, oh, well, I just want, when you're talking about being in love for like 20, 30 years, you don't want that original plate back, do you? You want the plate with all the cracks in, with all the gold bits. And you
Because that's
want,
where you've grown together.
although those moments are like hurt.
No, but how do you stay in love?
You work on filling the cracks in with gold.
Yeah, but what about
'Cause otherwise
staying
you've
in
just
love
gotta-
without cracks? So that by that metaphor, you only work on things when it's hard.
No, because every now and
what do
again
you
you look
do?
at your plate and you'll go, oh, is now a plate beautiful?
All right, okay. So you
And
just
you'll go-
appreciate each other.
Yeah, and you look at the plate and you're like, oh, we've got a beautiful plate, haven't we?
Okay, it's interesting.
You put it in a big glass bar, you put it in a cage, and you have a plaque underneath.
Okay, that's enough.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Is that not helpful to anyone?
It probably somebody might resonate. All right, okay, interesting. I don't know. I think that from my point of view, Will Smith was right in that you have to be two individually happy people to be happy in love, and you have to be able to share what you're both trying to individually achieve and support and love each other through those things. And your relationship should be seen as almost like a third person.
Yeah.
It's not you two becoming one, like the Spice Girls said.
Oh, Jesus, you just quoted the Spice Girls.
And Will Smith. yeah, it's more about see that as a third person. It's tough if you ever split up because that third person disappears.
Yeah.
But you don't lose yourself.
But you don't lose yourself, yeah.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, definitely.
So that's how I see it. Don't change your eggs.
Don't change your eggs.
Change your eggs.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. You've both been marvellous guests today.
Thanks for having us.
And we will see you guys next week on just another group chat.